Hey there, this is K4A, Knowledge for All educational videos and tutorials channel, and in this video today we are continuing with making dress up game in Scratch and continuing with coding. So let's get on into it and let's see where we have stopped at the last video. I think we have coded these buttons, these 4 buttons: hats, shirts and pants and shoes, to play pop-up sound when we click on those. Yep, that works. So we have play sound finished, but we haven't coded these 2 other things. We have to hide other clothing and show hats when we click on hats button, show shirts when we click on shirts button, show pants when we click on pants button, and show shoes when we click on shoes button. I have used this drawing software Autodesk Sketchbook just to make some things clearer and understandable, but it was probably quite opposite and made you more confused, but I won't give up. I will have to use it this time again, and let's see what we have done. We have said here we have to code a couple of things here. First one was to play the pop-up sound. We did that when the hats button is clicked. Play the pop-up sound. That works so far, so we did that one. The second one was when the hats button is clicked, show hat 1, show hat 2, show hat 3 at the same time, and that's where we stopped. So we have to do that one today. Let's try to do that one. And also I was explaining using messages a little bit, but I will have to do it again, and let's go into it. First of all, I just wanted to think about how I will call this video today. Probably because we have hats, shirts and pants and shoes. So from my point of view, those hats, pants, shoes and so on, those are all clothing types. So the previous video will be called clothing types, coding clothing types button, and in this video we are going to code clothing styles. What does that mean? That means that hat as a clothing type has different style. It can be sport hat, bear hat and so on, and shoes can be green, pink and so on. So I will call this one video today coding buttons, clothing style buttons. So this is what we're going to make today, and I will delete this layer now, make a new one, and in our game those clothing styles are these buttons here: hat 1, hat 2 and hat 3. Okay, for hats. For shirts, that would be pink and dinosaur shirt and so on. So let's try to code those, and let's try to explain a couple of other things too. Okay, first of all, let's go back to messages, and this was really ugly drawing, but it wasn't completely useful. Okay, let's try to explain that one more time, in a clearer way. Okay, what I wanted to say here is that when you have, I will just hide this one, when you have a button like this, not this, but more normal like this. So for example, if you have heads button and you have different heads here. Okay, so I want to click on this button and do something. I want to, now I will use different layers. I want to, when clicked, I want to show those heads. So why is my graphic tablet lacking? Okay, so when I click on the heads button, I want to show, yeah, I made a mistake again. Okay, I should made those heads in different layers. Never mind. I want, no, not good. Okay, let me make a new layer. Let me, sorry for not thinking earlier about this, but yeah, I could select them and cut them maybe, but it's not so bad this way either. Okay, so I have to do this hat, sport hat, witch hat, and hat, cowboy hat. Very ugly. Okay, so when I click this button, I want to show hats like this. Click, show, click, show. How to do it? I will use, as we said before, I will use messages in Scratch. That's already built-in feature in Scratch. We have code blocks for that. But the problem is what? The problem is that when you send the message from one sprite to another, you have to think about a couple of things. First of all, sending message is easy, just like that. Send message. We have used that in previous video. We have said, okay, when I click on this sprite, broadcast message. Broadcast means send. But I don't know what this message one is. I don't know what this new message button does. But more important is how these heads here will react on that message. So sending message is first step. Send message. But the second step is more important, and the second step is react to message. So you have to think about two steps when you send message. Send message that goes from object 1 and react to message that goes on object 2, on object 3, 4, and so on. It can go on endless, on infinite number of objects. So what I'm trying to say here, I'm trying to say we have sent the message from these button heads, but who is going to react on that message? We actually never told Scratch who is listening to that message. That's what this number 2 is. Who is going to react to message? Who is going to listen to message? That's the question mark. We don't know that in our Scratch game. And that's what? That's the head 1. I listen. That's the head 2. I listen too. And that's the head 3. He is listening too. So when I send the message from this button, I will send it somewhere out there in the space, and only the sprites, the objects, the characters, the enemies, whoever only who listens to that message will react. So that is very, very important. That's what I wanted to say in this video. And let's go to Scratch to see that in action finally. So I am saying when this sprite is clicked, play sound and broadcast message, but no one is listening to that message. Let's change that. Let's go to hat1 and say, okay, when I receive message. Oh, this is so zoomed out. When I receive message, that's what we had here. Listen to the message. That's what we had here. Listen and react to message. That's the second step. The first one was send the message. That was going from object 1, the heads button. But then the step 2, sorry, listen to the message. Who is that? That's the object 2, the head. Okay, let's make it. The head says, when I receive the message, what do we need to code? We need to say this, show 3 heads, so we need to show the head. Let's try to find that block. Is it the motion block? Do we want to move something? No. Is it the looks block? Yes. We want to show something. That's the look. So find the show scratch block, which is the indigo one, and click and drag it here and say, when I receive message 1, show. And now let's try that in our game. And it works. Simple as that. As we said here, heads is sending the message. Send the message, broadcast the message. We coded that. And this sprite here, hat1, he is listening to the messages, he's receiving the message, and when he receives the message, and only in that case, we want him to show up on the screen. Simple as that. Okay. That works now, but I made one thing good and I solved one problem, but as always in game development, you solve one problem and make a couple of other. What do I have now here on the screen? If I stop the game and start again, I have the problem when problem that the hat1 is still on the screen. Let me reset the game, start it again. Yeah. Why is that so? Well, that's again not a bug, that's a feature. We told the Scratch to show the cap, the hat1, the sports cap, when here, and we never told him to hide that cap later. So we are in problem now. When I click this button, the hat will show up, but it will stay forever and ever on the screen. We have to fix that up. Okay, let's first think about it. I want my hat1 to be hidden when the game starts. You can write it down also on the new paper, just to make your programming easier, and say it like this: when the game starts, oops, hide cap 1, hat1, never mind. Okay, when the game starts, let me try to find that scratch block. When the game starts, that's probably control or event blocks. When the game starts, that's the first block from the events block, so select the yellow circle, the events group of blocks, and the first one from the top, which is when green flag is clicked. That is same as when the game starts. That's how game starts in Scratch, when the green flag is clicked. And I want to code what else? Hide cap 1. I am already in hat1 sprite, so I need to hide it. I need to find hide. It is one of the looks blocks. Indigo one, so find the hide block and click and drag it and attach it to when the green flag clicked. So what will happen now? When I click on this green flag here, which means the game starts, it will always hide this sport hat, this hat one. Do I want that? Yes, I want my game to start with only the girl on the screen, nothing else but girl and those 4 buttons. I don't want any clothing around the girl, so I want to hide this hat when the green flag is clicked. Let's try if that works. Yep, it works. Let's try these button hats. That works also, great. Cool. So we have made something here. Not too much, but we have some kind of progress here. Let's go back to this one, and first let me delete this layer and make this previous visible again, so I can see where I am now. Okay, so I have made the progress here that I have shown the hat 1, but I have a problem here that I need to show the hat 2 and hat 3 also. And how am I supposed to do that? Well, I will use the same approach here as I used for hat 1. Send a message and then from object 1, and then some object 2 will react to that message. Object 2, object 3, 4, as many as I want. So in my case, object 1 is hats button, so when I click on it I will send the message, and the object 2 sport hat is reacting. Now I want to object 1 hat, no, I was right, object 2 hat 1 is reacting, and now I want object 3 hat 2 reacting and object 4 hat 3 reacting. So I want to use the same approach from first hat on second hat and third hat. Let's do it, but let's think about it also how to make it as fast as possible and as optimized as possible. I could make here broadcast message 2 and say hat 2, which is the bear hat. I want him to react to message 2. I can make this new message, message 2. So I can say, okay, when broadcast message, not broadcast message, and wait. So I can say broadcast message 2, and this hat, bear hat, same as hat 1. When I receive message 2, show, and will this work? Let's try. Yes, that works, great. And also when I restart the game, I still have this bear hat on the screen, so I have to use this same approach. When green flag clicked, that means when game starts, hide it. So when game starts, I want to hide this bear hat. And let's try that again. Okay, that works, cool. But if you think about it for a few seconds, you will find out that I made some error. It's not error in terms the game is working, but we can make it work better and with less code. And what is that error? As I said here before, I'm using this let me see where I was writing that. Yeah, I messed up again, so many drawings. Anyway, I was using this approach. Hats will, no, I will pick another color to make it clearer. Okay, so yeah, so I was using this approach. Hats, when clicked, hats button is sending message 1 2 button, sorry, to head 1, and then message 2 to head 2, and then message 3 to head 3. But do I need to make 3 messages? Why do I need to make 3 messages? Can I make only 1 maybe? Can I say just a second. Yeah, I want to delete this one. To try to make it clearer. As we said before, the first step is that one object, in our case that is the button heads, sends the message, and the second one is that some other object, one or more object, reacts to that message. In our case, heads is sending the message, and object heads reacts to that. So, do I need to set message 1 to first head, message 2 to second head, and message 3 to third head? I don't think so. I think I can say, hey, this is one message for all of you, and that message is show yourself. So, one message will trigger head 1, head 2, and head 3. I think that could be possible. Let's try to see if that's possible. So instead of button heads broadcast message 1 and 2, I will have button heads broadcast only message 1 and head 1. When I receive message 1, show head 2. When I receive message 1, show. Simple as that. I can also already code the head 3. When I receive message 1, I want to see you on the screen, show yourself, and I want you to hide when the game starts. But I'm using only one message for all 3 buttons. Why? Because they will show up at the same time when I press the heads button. Let's see if that works. Yep, nice. So this works. When I restart the game, they become invisible, they are hidden. Hide, show, hide. When I send the message, when I press the heads button, I send the message 1, show yourself. They receive the message and they show themselves. But when I click on the green flag, they will hide themselves. Simple as that. And that works, and that's how we are going to code shirts, pants, and shoes. Simple as that. But before that, I'm going to use one more thing. First of all, I am going to rename this teddy bear into head 2. Now it's head 12, and this head 13 is head 3. And also I will use I will click on heads button. Something lags here. Okay. I will click on heads button, delete this one, and instead of using message 1, because that will maybe confuse you, I will make new message and I will call it show heads. So when I press the heads button, I want to play the sound pop and broadcast show heads message, and I will now change this one, message 1, to show heads, so it will be easier for you to follow, because we will use that approach on other buttons too. And let's try if this works. Yeah. Okay, so same approach goes here for shirts and pants and shoes buttons. I will do maybe one more or 2, I don't know, maybe all. Let's try to see how fast it goes. But you can do it yourself now. I think you understand how it goes, and you should be able to do it. You should be able to do everything of what I showed here in this video today if you have watched my previous videos and tutorials, but anyway, this is a dress up game tutorial, so if you haven't watched earlier videos you can follow this tutorial only and make the dress up game only if that's your goal. Okay, that was button hats. Let's go to button shirts. So I want to do what with button shirts? I want to play sound pop. That's already coded here. I want to do else. What else? I want to broadcast message. What message? Show shirts. Cool. That is message which is sent out somewhere out in the space, but no one listened to it. That's the first step, send message. We have sent the message show shirts, but who is listening to that message? No one. We have to define that. Let's find it. Who needs to listen to that? Shirts. Okay, shirt 1. And that is this dinosaur shirt which is currently hidden. I can show it like this or hide it like this. And I want to say what? When I receive show shirts, I want to do what? I want to show myself on the screen. Like this, great. It works, but I want it maybe here where other buttons are. And when I want to hide this button, I want to hide it when the game starts. And that is the green flag button. When the green flag button is clicked, hide. So, show. I have another problem here now. The buttons are there when I clicked on the button hats and shirts, but they don't disappear when other button is clicked. I will solve that later. Let's go to other button pants. When this sprite clicked pants, I want to do what? I want to play the pop sound and broadcast message. Which one? New message. Show pants. Simple as that. That was show pants message broadcasted out there in the space, but no one is listening to it. So who is going to listen to that? I think the pants should listen to that. When I receive a message, which message? Show pants. Do what? Show yourself. And when you start the game, hide yourself. So when the green flag is clicked, hide, but when I receive show pants, show. Let me try this. Show, cool. Shirts, show, cool. Hats, show, cool. But as I said, the problem here is that they do not disappear when I click on other buttons. So when I click the hats button, I want only the hats visible, not the shirts, not the pants. We will solve that later maybe, or maybe today, but let's try finishing these pants messages and hiding when the game starts. So when the green flag is clicked, hide yourself and show when I receive message pants. Show pants. Okay, it works, cool. And the last one, the button shoes. When this sprite is clicked, I want to do what? That was all written in the game design document. I had it in my mind too, but you can go from game design document to coding and vice versa. Hop as much as you need it, just to be sure that you're following the game design document and not to forget anything which is needed for our game. So shoes, I need to do what? I need to play the pop-up sound. I already have that. And I need to show 3 kind of shoes. Let us code that. How are we going to do that? We are going to send the message in the space. show shoes, but that message is out there and no one listens to that message, so we have to say to shoes, okay, you have to listen to this message, green shoes. When I receive show shoes, show myself. When I receive start game, hide myself. And as I said before, this isn't very smart in terms of I'm doing same thing over and over again, 5 or 6 times. So what have we told before how to solve that? One way would be to use the backpack, so I would copy this and then paste it on the other shoes. But that was the first approach. The second approach could be I could duplicate this one. I will show you that now. So because this same approach will be used on shoes 2 and shoes 3, and I have those shoes as costumes here, I can just do this, duplicate, and then delete the first costume, and now I have the shoes, and I will delete these old one. So I already have code in it, but if you don't get this approach or don't like this approach, you can use the previous one. I'm just click and dragging now onto the pants and onto the shoes to make them spread out more even on the screen. You don't have to do that, but I like to have it this way, like real buttons on the screen. And the last one is the shoes with the wings. When I receive show shoes, show myself, and when I receive start the game, hide myself. So I think this will work nice. Let me just check them all fast. Show shoes, hide, show shoes, hide, show shoes, hide, show pants, hide, show pants, hide, show shirts, hide, show hats, hide, show hats, hide, and that's it. Yeah, I will now restart our game and start it again to see if this works. So now when I click on the heads button, heads should be on the screen. Nice. Shirts, nice. Pants, nice. Shoes, nice. So we have heads buttons now, 3 of those. Shirts, only 1, we need 2, we have to fix that. We have 3 shoes buttons, and we have 2 pants buttons. That's all cool, but we have another problem here, which I said before. We need to do what? We need to hide other clothing. When I click on the shoes, when I click on the shoes button, I want the pants to be invisible, I want the shirt to be invisible, and I want the hats to be invisible. You should be able to understand that and do it on your own. If you think about it a little bit, I think you can do it on your own, but if not, I will show that also. No big deal, that's easy one. It should be easy, but let's see if I got it right. So when I click on start the game, I want my I have selected the hat one, and I'm now going to analyze it and what I have need to code for that button. So when I click on the button hat, hats, I want to show 3 hats. Okay, that works. I want to play the pop-up sound, and I want to hide other clothing. So hat 1 is shown, head 2 is shown, 3 it's visible, but when I click on the shirts they don't disappear. I want them to disappear. So how to do it? Again, we will use the same approach. We will use the message, show, hide, scratch buttons, and that's it. But try to think about it in a few seconds or minutes, pause the video and then come back so I will explain it to you. Okay, the one way I would do it here, I would use some previous messages and make new messages. I would first say here, okay, when the head 1, I will analyze the head 1. When the green flag is clicked, hide, that's cool, that works. And when I receive the show heads, show myself, that works. But when do I want to hide? I want to hide when this shirt is visible, these pants are visible, these shoes are visible. And when these shoes are visible, when these pants are visible, and when this shirt is visible, think about it, when I click this button, and this button. So, when I click this button, I want to hide the heads. Hide the heads. Hide the heads. Let me write it down again on the paper to be easier to understand. So, red color, no matter. So, heads. And we have button here. I have button, which one? Shoes, pants, and shirts. Shirts, pants, shoes. So I want to hide those, but when? Oops. I want to hide them, but when I want to hide them, to destroy them? When I click this one, when I show the shirts, when I click this one, and when I click this one. So when I click the shoes button, hide the heads. When I click the pants button, hide the heads. When I click the shirts button, hide the pants. So in every other case other than this first one, heads button pressed, I want my heads hidden. So if I click on shirts, I want them hidden. If I click on pants, I want heads hidden. If I click on shoes, I want heads hidden. So let's try to tell that to this head. So what can we use here? I can again make new messages. I can say, okay, new message. Okay, new message. And so on. And that way I can make 1,000 new message, 1 million, 1 billion, whatever. But that isn't smart. Let's try to be smart. Instead of making new messages, what can I use here? What have we made already? Let me see what these buttons are doing. Shirts. Shirts button broadcasts show shirts. Pants button broadcasts show pants. And shoes button it broadcasts show shoes. So maybe I can use these messages: show pants, show shirts, and show shoes to hide the heads. Why not? Can I do this? Can I say, okay, when I receive, show pants, hide myself? Because why? Because I want to show the pants only, not the heads. Hide the head when the show pants is active. Let's try that. And it works. It worked for the first button. Let's try it for the second button. No, sorry. Let's try it with other. First, let's try it with other messages. I started with pants instead of shirts. And we will need the fourth one, which says when I receive what? Shoes. So I hope this makes sense. I will try to make a drawing one more time, but this is so simple. What am I doing here? You can write it down in words like this. Show head only when button heads is pressed. Only. Hide it when button, shoes, button, shirts, and button, pants is pressed, is pressed, is pressed. So 1, 2, 3 possible ways to hide this button. When the shoe button is pressed, when the shirts button is pressed, and when the pants button is pressed. And show it only when the button heads is pressed. That's what we have coded here. You can write it always on the paper in the words if you're confused, but that's what we said here. When I receive show heads message, and that message is sent when I press the heads button, show the buttons. But when I receive show shirts, hide. Heads show, pants hide. Heads show, shoes hide. So if I want to show the shoes, hide the heads. If I want to show the pants, hide the heads. If I want to show the shirts, hide the heads. And so on. Same goes with other buttons. Let's do it for the other buttons very fast. So when I receive show heads, and I can do this, I can duplicate this one and add hide and copy paste it 3 times. Duplicate, right click, duplicate, show shoes, hide, show pants, hide, show shirts, hide, and show heads, show. Same goes for head 3. Duplicate, show, delete, hide, add. You see how it goes fast. Shirts, hide, pants, hide, and shoes, hide. So now we should have 3 of our head buttons showing and hiding when we press other buttons. You see? We have a problem that pants is not hiding, and shoes is not hiding, and shirts is not hiding because we haven't coded them. Let's do that now fast. We are going to use the same approach. Just use your common sense, your mind, God-given mind, and think what you need to code. I need to code 3 more cases and 3 times to hide the button and 1 time to show it. When I'm going to hide the shirt button, when the shoes button is pressed. Show shoes, hide the shirt. Show pants, hide the shirt. Show heads, hide the shirt. And when do I want to show the shirt? Only and only when I receive show shirts. Simple as that. So far so good. Let's do that for pants. Duplicate, delete show, add hide. Duplicate, duplicate. We are close to it, guys. Keep on doing it. Okay, pants. Do I want to show pants when I am showing the shoes? No, I want them to hide. Do I want to show pants when I show the shirts? No, I want them to hide. Do I want to show pants when I show the heads? No, I want the pants to be hidden. Simple as that. And 4 more and that's it. Duplicate, hide, duplicate. I'm doing this on purpose, like this stupid way, just to make you train a little bit and to use your mind, because for most of you maybe it doesn't make sense in this in the way I'm describing it, talking too much, or my English is not good, but if you train it this way and just use your common sense and mind and brain, you will understand it. We are showing the pants when? Only when the pants button is clicked. And when the heads button is clicked, hide it. Shirts, hide it. Shoes, hide it. Simple as that. Same goes with shoes. I want to show shoes when? When I click on show shoes button. But when I click on show heads, I want shoes hidden. When I click on show shirts, I want shoes hidden. When I click on show pants, heads, shirts, pants, yeah, that's it. And same goes for this one. Almost there. And same goes for this one. I want to show my shoes only when the shoes are on. Pressed when the heads, hide them, when the shirts, hide them, and when the pants, hide them. And the last one, and that's it for today. Duplicate, hide, duplicate, duplicate. I think that's it. Show shoes when? When I press the pants button, no, hide them. When I press the shirts button, no, hide shoes. When I press the heads button, no, hide shoes. I think we got it all, guys. Let's try this. Let's zoom. Yeah, it seems it works. And I don't know when I started this, but I hope it looks, the progress looks good enough for you. We are almost there. The next thing we need to do is when I press those buttons here, I want the clothing to show up on the girl. So when I press the teddy bear button here on the left, I want the teddy bear cap on the girl. Same with this and this. Same with the shirt. When I press this shirt as a button, I want that shirt show up on the girl. Pants, shoes. Do you know how to do it now? I think you should be able to do it on your own. I will do that in next video, but again, you're using the same approach. This button here, heads, is sending the message show what? Show head on the girl. And who is receiving the message? The message is received by this head here. He is the receiver of the message, and this one, he is sending the message. Simple as that. We already did that for these buttons. You now just have to use the same approach to show the hats and shirts and pants and shoes on the screen. Sorry it took me this long, but I hope you got it right, and I hope you like this tutorial so far. So in next video we are going to code buttons clothing, finally clothing on the girl, and that's it. In the next video we should finalize this dress up game. It will work as supposed to, as the main idea was. We were following the game design documents, and I hope it will be finished in the next video, and maybe 1 or 2 videos after that, just to show you how to improve your game with new ideas, with next steps and so on, but it won't be necessary. The game should be finished in next video and should be fully playable in next video. Okay, thanks for watching, and bye for now.